Evan, I heard you say for once you actually have a movie off the top of your head. So you go ahead.
Yes, I do. Recently, I believe it was like a day or two ago, I rewatched my Blu-ray edition of Nightcrawler, Dan Gilroy's Nightcrawler, and I have to say I fucking love this movie. And the Blu-ray is a nice. I think I got it at a 7-Eleven, and it was in their sort of. It was in their sort of like bargain area, and it was probably I think it was like below $5. It was like three. It was like $4. It was like $3 or $4. So for a Blu-ray, DVD, and digital package, that's a very good deal.
Yeah, would you rate that as a bargain, Evan?
I would rate that as a bargain, Aaron. I'm glad you asked.
Dylan, would you rate that as a bargain?
Yeah, that's a sure. Why not?
Yeah,
Aaron, what about you? Oh my God, we have our first unanimous bargain.
Yeah, no.
And it's not even on a main episode, so it doesn't even count.
No, not even slightly.
So I haven't seen that since, it was the fever of Oscar season, and everyone was like, will Gyllenhaal get the Oscar? How does it hold up?
It fantastically. I honestly I hadn't seen it in a couple years, and I think I enjoyed it far more than I did when I watched it then. It's just so tightly crafted and precise, and I don't know. It's crazy for me to think about Dan Gilroy's 2 films after this.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's grown so much as a filmmaker.
Oh, yeah.
From those humble days.
I'm sorry. Why are the sisters standing and the brothers sitting?
That's gendered and sexist.
And polite.
And patronizing.
And polite.
It's just one hell of a directorial debut, and it's like, I don't know how the other 2 movies happened.
Critique is so limiting and emotionally draining.
But I will praise this for what it is, which is honestly a near masterpiece. Like, this one specifically reminds me a lot of, like, Fincher. It has a lot of those qualities where it just comes across as, like, I don't know, like everything that he wanted was put in the movie, and it's just so precise, and it just really succeeds in building a lot of tension, and everything that Lou Bloom is doing, it just escalates and gets worse until you're like, oh, this is horrifying, all these actions that he's committing.
I guess to be fair to Dan Gilroy, looking at him, I mean, based on knowledge I had on my mind and did not look up on Wikipedia, he did write Kong Skull Island.
He did. Yeah, he was one of the credited writers for that.
Stay tuned for more on that.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know what it's about, it's about a low-life criminal, essentially, just a grifter, who happens upon some people filming a horrific car accident in L.A., and it turns out they're filming it to be sold to news stations to use as their like coverage for the news event. And these people are called Nightcrawlers. They drive around at night with police scanners, and they search for breaking stories like car crashes or robberies or murders, you name it, and then they film them as quickly as possible so they can get the most money. And he breaks his way into this business, and you learn throughout the film that he's willing to go to any length possible to succeed in this business.
God knows how many times we committed crimes while shooting wet-eating videos. I mean, I see him as an aspirational figure, really, much like Patrick Bateman or the Joker.
Well, like any true LA citizen, he's just a parasite who gets by off sucking from everyone else.
Oh, he is. Yeah, it's like in his performance is the fact that he didn't get. Did he even get nominated for this?
So Jake Gyllenhaal was not nominated.
Yeah, no, he just completely got snubbed in every sense.
Yeah, I think that was one of those full snub movies. Like every aspect of the movie got snubbed because people were, I think people were thinking like Rene Russo for supporting and like, stuff for like directing and stuff. But
I remember watching an interview with him talking about this movie, and they were asking him like, oh, how'd you get into the character of Lou Bloom? This is just such a like electrifying performance, and like, what's your secret and whatever. And he was like, honestly, like, Lou had so many lines in the script And I didn't want to, like, you know, we were on a really tight shooting schedule, and I wanted all of Dan's dialogue to come off. So what I did is I just read it as quickly as I possibly could. And so that's why he just fast talks throughout the whole movie.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm sure, you know, everyone kind of realized as he was doing, oh, wait, this is, like, really good for the character. So I thought that was really funny. That's just something that Gyllenhaal added because he wanted to make sure everything worked out with the shoot.
Yeah, he was nominated for like all the other big actor stuff. It's Golden Globe, SAG, and BAFTA. So what the fuck, Oscars?
Yeah. Normally those are huge indicators of where the Oscars go, but not with that one. I don't know if they have something against Jake Gyllenhaal. Maybe he's too weird handsome for them. Yeah.
It's not really Oscar baity. It comes across as like a passion project of Dan Gilroy's, is that he really just thought this subject was super interesting, which I do too, and he just wanted to tell the story. And
well, it's a movie about LA, which the Oscars love, but it also is a very negative portrayal of LA.
Oh yeah, dude, it portrays LA as like the most horrific place in the U.S.
Yeah, it's pure nightmare. Like in that, and it depicts like media as pure nightmare. So I guess that might have turned some people off.
But yeah, the fact that he didn't win is kind of insane because it's just like the performance of a lifetime, really. That sounds like a Pool quote, but you know,
the Bargain Binge, a performance of a lifetime. Bargain Binge podcast.
As you mentioned, Dylan, you know, it's always fun as filmmakers to see movies about making not necessarily movies, but just shooting video or making videos, which is what this is. Yeah, so if you like crime thrillers and you happen to be a fan of like Fincher, then I think this is the movie for you if you haven't seen it.
All right, sounds good. Well, my watch of the week, or every other week, whatever, it is John Landis's Innocent Blood. I ended up liking it a whole lot. It's to break it down to its...
Is John Landis like Max Landis's nephew or something? Did Max,
I think so.
Like, you know, bring him into the industry through nepotism?
Yes, well, before their name was cursed... well, not even.
No, I mean... not before at all. The helicopter thing had happened by then, I think.
Yeah, well, from the loins of one of the more lacking in scruple families in American history, came Innocent Blood, which in its most base elements is a vampire movie mixed with a gangster movie, where a sexy vampire lady is caught up in a battle with a mafia in Pittsburgh, and antics ensue, pretty much. The mob boss becomes a vampire, and it's interesting to see, like, yeah, that's probably what a gangster would do if he was a vampire. But I don't want to give too much away. The way that it's laid out and all the reveals that happen and the order in which they happen is very well done.
I'm sorry. Just as you're describing this, I just can't help but think if John Travolta in Gotti was a vampire.
I mean, that would have improved the film tenfold. If he was just biting into everybody and maybe had a General Grievous-like accent.
Mm-hmm.
But lots of, as you might expect from Landis's other horror movies, there's some really great special effects in it. In a way, it kind of reminded me a lot of An American Werewolf in London, just the way that it's paced and the way the characters kind of interact and stuff. So it's just really cool. I liked it a lot. I don't want to say too much more. I started watching Coming to America, which I'd never seen. I bought it on 4K just to see what Paramount's doing with their 4Ks before the Indiana Jones stuff comes out, and I can say that the transfer's very good. I've enjoyed the movie a lot so far. Aaron, what have you watched recently?
Well, you see, while you guys were consuming pathetic low art like film, I watched 2 episodes of Baywatch for the purposes of seeing professional wrestlers in them.
Which wrestlers were they?
You see, in the first episode of the two, I'm just gonna throw out the second one because it has way less to say. Second one just has Shawn Michaels. He plays like the bodyguard of like a mafioso type guy. Pamela Anderson's mom pisses him off and sends Shawn Michaels to go harass her.
You gotta find the disc for me, and then I want you to take care of Shelly and her daughter. Make it look like an accident. All right?
Don't worry, Mr. Blanton. I'll take care of it.
In the end, he gets like his ass kicked by like the random Baywatch character. However, if you notice, they have a second goon, and the second goon gets beaten up by David Hasselhoff, and that's very on screen. While the fight with Shawn Michaels goes for like 15 seconds on screen, is very like 50-50, and then they don't show it again for like 2 minutes, and it's already over. Which makes me feel like coked out Shawn Michaels has started beating the shit out of the actor. Because it's incredibly jarring, because he's the focus of the scene until the fight starts, and then he's gone. And but the more interesting episode of the two, Hulk Hogan riding a jet ski with Randy Macho Man Savage.
The handshake of the madness and the mania together will formally be felt and around the world. We will make the world stand still because this is the first public shaking of the mega powers, brother.
He wrecks it and gets horrifically fucked up, and the Baywatch have to go save him. But actually, only his jet ski gets totaled. He's fine because he's that strong.
You're very lucky. You were hit by a ski and you could have been killed.
Darwin, I've been hit a lot harder than that in the ring.
He totaled the jet ski with his face. The plot is revealed because he brings Pamela Anderson to like this like community gym that I guess they want to push that he works out at with Macho Man. And I want to note, Hulk and Macho Man work out in full ring attire. In the scenes, their casual workout clothing is full ring attire, and they. But then Ric Flair pulls up in a limo with Kevin Sullivan and Vader, and reveals that he has purchased the community center and is going to tear it down to put like a mall or something. So Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage have to beat Flair and Vader to win back the contract for the community center.
When I was a kid, you and this place saved my rear end. I had a choice. Drugs and the street life, or getting healthy, working out, and getting my act together right here.
I have no idea what would have happened to us without this place, but it's not a pretty picture, Oster.
And that's a pretty wild story. But it contrasts with the B plot, which is about one of the main Baywatch characters getting cancer.
What's wrong? You love the beach. What's going on?
I had a biopsy this morning. Possible skin cancer.
Okay. That's awesome.
Those are the two plots.
What kind of cancer?
Skin cancer because she's on the beach too much.
Oh, well,
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But it has spread to the other parts of her body, and she's like in severe health danger.
Does she die?
They leave it off with her just learning from a doctor that it's spread to other parts of her body.
Oh, so it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was this on Amazon?
This was on Amazon.
So it was the HD transfer.
Yes, it was the remastered HD transfer of Baywatch. The show, while it's definitely cleaned up for that transfer, looks like it was made for $5.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help that they also replaced, because that show apparently was just filled with a bunch of like pop music, and then they had to replace it with a bunch of stock stuff for the new remaster.
The funny thing, one of the funny things about watching those two episodes was that the opening credits have like 17 Baywatch crew people, like, you know, like people on the Baywatch team who save lives, and like they each get their big slow motion moment. I saw none of them. It was just Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson in both episodes. And the one who got skin cancer. But
okay,
the other like 14 cast members were not in either episode, which makes me wonder how that show's structured. Like, is it just like, oh, these two get an episode, and then like these? I have no idea what the fuck Baywatch is after watching.
Yeah, I've never
this.
seen it.
Yeah.
All I know is references in other movies like Borat and Geely.
I have to go with the Baywatch.
I'm sorry, what?
I have to go with the Baywatch. I was gonna go.
Oh, yes. Very important cinematic reference in Geely.
You want to watch Baywatch? Roll by my apartment. We'll turn on Baywatch.
You stupid person, you stupid person. That television, the Baywatch.
Yeah, it's a very important plot element. But now I'm just curious, what is Baywatch even about? Like, what?
Yeah.
It's about the Baywatch.
Oh. The Baywatch.
No, okay, I get, but like other than that.
Yeah, it seems to just be random adventures of the people
just
who
random adventures
are
with the loose framework of the fact that they're lifeguards, and that's it.
Yeah, that appears to be what it is. But I also watched 2 gimmick episodes with wrestlers, so.
Yeah, well, they're sexy and they're on a beach. I mean, there's not too much more you can ask for, a major television show.
I guess so. It's just like a lot of other major shows at least have like more of a cohesive gimmick.
Do they really? Have you watched television? It is the worst fucking medium, Evan.
Well, I watch good television.
The worst medium is poetry. But
I disagree. I think poetry has a chance to be a lot better. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm on the fence with that one. Yeah, poetry can be pretty ass.
Yeah,
I guess there's a lot more bad poetry because literally anyone can write it.
Yeah, no, I just find it like interesting because, well, also I guess because of the ocean being a factor. At least the episodes I watched are like horrifically dubbed the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably just the whole thing then, huh?
Yeah, the Shawn Michaels episode was a lot less bad with it, but they also spent less time right next to the ocean. But the skin cancer / save the community center episode was just every line was dubbed, which was interesting because the wrestlers did a lot better of a job matching their own mouth movements than the actors did.
For some reason, that's not surprising to me.
No, I feel like it makes sense, but I can't explain it.
Well, maybe one day we'll pull Baywatch 2017 starring The Rock out of a bargain bin.
I hope fucking not.
Hopefully the same character gets skin cancer in that.
Okay. I'm sorry. Can I just say, I just typed in Baywatch movie into Google, and the people who ask section where it's like a bunch of common questions that have Baywatch in it. You want to know what the first one is?
What?
It's just why is Baywatch so bad?
Dude, it's very bad. I've seen a lot of schlock TV, but it's rough.
In fact, Baywatch is so bad, it even occasionally forgets filmmaking and screenwriting 101. Example, showing little concern for continuity with some of its background performers, failing to establish character entrances in 2-person conversations that suddenly turn into 3-person conversations.